Yeah, it's cracking, everybody. Good morning. Hope you're all having a great day. I just kind of wanted to come out up on top of Tantalus up here today, give you guys a little shout out, and let you know I'm thinking about everybody. I hope your life's going well. I hope times are going well. And I heard a good story that I wanted to share with you guys, and I wanted to do it, with this beautiful backdrop back here. As you can see, we got beautiful Oahu behind us. Get a pretty good view there. But I heard a really cool story, and I wanted to share it with you. It was about this young lady that was going through like a lot of adversity, a lot of problems. And she went home and she talked to her dad. And her dad was a chef, right? And she's like, Dad, I'm having all these problems. Life sucks. It's so hard. The struggling's too crazy. And her dad just kind of looks at her and, as a parent, you kind of have a little bit more wisdom. And when your kids get into a position where you're like, where they're stressing out a little bit, they act a little crazy, and we kind of act crazy sometimes too. So the girl's stressing out. She's talking to her dad, telling her all her problems. And the dad, he was a chef. And so he goes into the kitchen and he grabs 3 pots and he puts them on the stove and he puts some water. He starts boiling some water. And in one of the pots, he puts some potatoes. In another pot, he puts 2 eggs. And in a third pot, he puts some coffee beans. And he boils all of them for like 20 minutes. He doesn't say a word. He just brings them all out, and his daughter's watching, and she's like, Dad, what are you doing? He's like, you'll see. So everything boils, and then he shuts everything off in 20 minutes. And then he takes the pots off of the stove, and he takes the potatoes out, he takes the eggs out, and he takes the coffee beans out. And he tells his daughter, I want you to look at these 3 pots. I want you to tell me what you see. And she's like, well, I see potatoes in this one. He's like, all right, well, look closer, touch it. So she touches the potato, and it's super soft because it's been boiling. And he goes, all right, how about the egg? So she takes out the egg and she cracks the shell, and inside the shell, the egg's like, it's hard boiled. And then she pours a glass of the coffee from the coffee beans in the boiling water, and she has a little sip, and she's like, oh, it's delicious. And he's like, all right, well, what did you learn? And she's like, what do you mean, what did I learn? And he's like, well, all 3 of these things, the eggs, the potatoes, and the coffee beans, they all faced the same adversity, right? They all faced the boiling water, but each one of them came out different, right? The potatoes went into the boiling water and they came out soft. The egg faced the boiling water and they came out hard. The coffee beans faced the boiling water and they came out with like this rich aroma, tasted delicious. Do you guys know what the moral of that story is? Any guesses out there? The moral of that story is that everybody faces adversity different. And which one do you want to be? You want to be the potatoes? You want to be the egg? You want to be the coffee beans? I heard that story yesterday, and I thought it was a really good one. And so in reality, I just want to show you guys this view up here, to be honest with you. Check it out. That's pretty sweet, right? Can you guys see all that? I'll get you a better view. Way up on top of the world up here. There's something about getting back to nature, right? There's just something about it. Like it's good for your soul. Helps you think clear, and you could be, I don't know. We all have to fight the grind sometimes and go to work, fight traffic, but if you can ever break away for a little bit, get out in nature, I'm telling you, this is the spot. You guys ever make it out to Hawaii? I'm telling you, hit me up. Love to see you guys. I had another few things that I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I can find them in my notes. You guys can enjoy this view here while I check at my notes. Give you guys a little bit better view. You guys see that? Let's see. So, all right. You know what else I was going to talk to you today about? What do you guys think about the shadow? You guys ever think about your shadow? Let me ask you this. If you could choose which color your shadow would be, what would you choose? I was kind of thinking chrome. It'd be kind of sweet to have a chrome shadow, right? Like you could look down and you could see your shadow and your reflection. You could see your reflection in your shadow. It'd be like a reflect a shadow or something. But anyways, I was thinking more about the shadow. I want to give you guys some quotes on that as well. How can I be substantial if I do not cast a shadow? Kind of a deep thought, right? I must have a dark side also if I am to be whole. You guys ever think about your shadow being like the dark side of you, right? Because let's face it, I know you guys out there, man. I know some of you got that dark side out there. All of us do, right? Sometimes when you get a little crazy and you start thinking crazy thoughts, like that's your shadow, man. That's the dark side of you. Maybe the only thing each of us can see is our shadow. You ever think about life like that? Like when you run into somebody else or you notice qualities in other people? I've been thinking about that a lot too. That's kind of a shadow. They say that like everybody's a mirror, and if truly the things you recognize in other people, be it good things or maybe things you admire or maybe things you don't admire. You ever been in a position where like someone just rubbed you the wrong way? You're like, fuck that person. You know what? I don't even want to be around that person. It's probably because that person reminds you of something you do to yourself that you don't like. When I think of a shadow, I kind of think about that sometimes. How about this one? This is from Genghis Khan. You have no companions but your shadow. That's something to think about, right? At the end of the day, you just look down and there's your shadow right there, right? How about when you look down, depending on where you are in the sun? You know what I mean? Can you see the different shadows over there? Depending on where you are in the sun, your shadow changes. I think that that's similar to how our personality is, right? Like in the right time, in the right position, your shadow can be elongated. Your shadow can be small, or it can be fat, or it can be skinny, depending on if there's something blocking it. Same thing for your personality. Like sometimes the best of you shines through, and there's other times where, like the shadow consumes you. How about this one? I am a champion. I am a champion standing over the shadow of my former self. That's a good one to think about, right? It's a good way to it's a good thought to have in your head, I think, as you're walking through life or as just you're walking on a walk. You can look down, and when you see your shadow, maybe you see that as a former part of yourself. How about this one? Some illusions are the shadows of great truths. That's pretty deep. It seems like everything's a shadow of the truth, especially when it comes to communication, right? Between the vision and the act lies the shadow. How about this? We cast a shadow. We cast a shadow on something wherever we stand. I think that's important to note. You affect everybody around you. You ever hear some people talk about, oh, you cast a pretty big shadow? Sometimes you hear that. But anyways, let me show you guys a little bit more of this view up here. What do you guys think? Can you see that? Nice. There you go. All right, my friends. Have a good day. Aloha.